The Sterling estate. A wedding night. 2 caterers completed their tasks. They exited the bedroom with the house staff. They began whispering before even reaching the door. One said she had worked for decades. She had never seen such a handsome man. The other pitied him for marrying a sick man. The first saw no reason for pity. He was now a master of the estate. His specific birth chart was needed for the young heir. It was supposed to bring good luck. Otherwise, the Sterlings would never approve this match. They would not want the son of a mid-level surgeon. The second woman agreed this was true. Only time would reveal if this was fortune or ruin. The caterer glanced back before closing the doors. She saw a room decorated in festive crimson. The new spouse sat silently on the bed. He looked like a statue carved from ivory. The heavy oak doors slowly closed. Only the newly married couple remained inside. Silence finally filled the room. Liam's back, stiff all day, finally relaxed. He shifted his body slightly. The tassels on his ceremonial sash swayed. This formal wear was incredibly restrictive. A bride's veil is lifted by her husband. He supposed the same custom applied to him. However, his new husband was unable to perform this act. His husband. Liam reached up and undid the sash himself. His vision of the room finally cleared. He surveyed the silk canopy and plush red bedding. His gaze settled on the sleeping man. He was Julian Sterling, heir to the estate. Candlelight flickered across Julian's face. Liam studied him with a detached expression. Julian wore a deep red wedding suit. He had finely arched brows and thick lashes. His cheeks were hollow. His lips were pale like parchment. Even with closed eyes, his illness was obvious. But his handsome features were still apparent. From today, this person was his husband. He was a man married to another man. He was the first officially recognized male spouse in the state. It was utterly ridiculous. He had prepared for his medical residency for 3 years. He would have become a surgeon like his father. He could have opened a clinic in the city. He could have been a respected doctor. But his ambitions were cut short. The powerful family matriarch had summoned his father. She had inquired about his son. She confirmed his exact birth date and time. After his father's confirmation, she arranged the marriage. The matriarch had Liam wedded to Julian Sterling. The city's elite all knew about Julian's condition. He had been confined to his bed for years. Doctors at his birth had made a dire prediction. They said the young heir would not live past 20. Julian was now 19. His health deteriorated daily. His family feared his end was near. The Sterlings desperately sought a famous spiritualist. The spiritualist was said to communicate with unseen forces. Her reply was a single line. It was an astrological chart matching Liam's birth date. Defying the matriarch meant financial and social ruin. Liam's own life was not the priority. He had to protect his aging parents and young brother. So he became Julian's good luck husband. Years of dedicated study had become a bitter joke. It was now past 10 o'clock. A maid called from outside the door. She announced it was time to prepare the young master for bed. Liam clenched his fists, staring at his unconscious husband. He was expected to care for Julian. What an absurd thought. The rituals of high society weddings were complex. The Sterlings had sent a tutor to his family home. She had taught Liam the so-called duties of a spouse. They had bathed him thoroughly before the wedding. They even applied scented oils to his skin. Liam had never felt such profound humiliation. He was not attracted to men. He wanted to die with Julian to escape this fate. But he had to protect his family. The maid's voice came again, more insistent. She urged him to prepare for bed. Liam closed his eyes, suppressing a wave of malice. He extinguished the candles. Only one red candle by the bed remained lit. Julian still wore his elaborate wedding suit. He was lying on top of the covers. Sleeping like that would be uncomfortable. But why should Liam care? He wished Julian would never wake up. Liam approached the bed. His eyes fell on Julian's hands, crossed on his chest. Liam's family had a long medical lineage. He had studied medicine with his father since childhood. As a young man, he traveled to study with a master. His skills far surpassed his peers. Just one look at Julian's face told him everything. Julian was critically ill with a chronic disease. To confirm his diagnosis, Liam condescended to check his pulse. Julian's wrist was alarmingly cold. It felt as if it had been pulled from icy water. His condition was just as Liam had suspected. Julian's life force was severely depleted. He showed signs of a terminal pulse. Without a miracle, Julian would not last 6 months. Liam only had to endure this for half a year. He would be free once Julian passed away. Liam's fingers tightened unconsciously. They left 2 faint marks on Julian's wrist. Suddenly, the pale fingertips twitched. Liam instinctively released his grip. Julian's hand fell back onto the bed. His eyes moved beneath their lids. His long eyelashes fluttered. Was Julian waking up? Liam's expression grew tense. He stared at Julian without blinking. Under his intense gaze, Julian slowly opened his eyes. A fog seemed to cloud Julian's vision. He appeared unable to see clearly. As the fog cleared, a hint of confusion emerged. He murmured something softly. He wondered where this classic beauty came from. Flirt, Liam thought with disdain. He was close to death but still noticed a pretty face. Liam spoke in a cold tone. He stated that Julian was awake. Julian seemed disoriented for a moment. He asked in a hoarse voice who he was. A flicker of surprise crossed Liam's face. He questioned if Julian did not recognize him. It was their first meeting, true, but Julian should understand from the wedding clothes. Julian shook his head and coughed weakly. He admitted it was a cliché question, but he had to ask where he was. He also wanted to know how he got here. Liam was silent. Perhaps the illness had damaged his mind. Or maybe Julian knew nothing of this marriage. Before the ceremony, his father mentioned Julian's state. Julian had been delirious for the past month. He was too sick to be coherent. If so, Julian might be completely unaware. Liam's expression softened slightly. He introduced himself as Liam Hayes. Liam Hayes. Liam Hayes. Julian repeated the name thoughtfully. He seemed to recall something. He asked if he was the beautiful doctor who died at the Capitol. Liam frowned in confusion. He asked what Julian was talking about. Julian stared at him, his face full of shock. He suddenly struggled to sit up. Acting on instinct, Liam pushed the patient back down. He demanded to know what he was doing. Julian pointed a trembling finger. It aimed at a bronze mirror on a cabinet. He clutched his chest with his other hand. His long hair spread across the pillow. He coughed and asked for the mirror. A mirror? Liam handed the mirror to Julian. He asked if something was wrong with it. Julian saw his reflection and looked horrified. His eyes widened as if he had seen a ghost. His expression was a storm of unspoken words. He struggled for breath for a long moment. Finally, only one word escaped his lips. Fuck. The maid on night watch heard the noise. She knocked on the door. She asked if something was wrong. Liam looked at the thunderstruck Julian. He calmly instructed her to inform the Sterlings. Their eldest son was awake. The maid immediately sent someone to notify the family. Then she summoned a doctor. Soon the room was filled with people. Liam stood at the edge of the crowd. He felt like an outsider. Dr. Albright, who examined Julian, was a renowned city physician. He stroked his beard in disbelief. He stated that in his long career he had never seen this. Mrs. Sterling asked anxiously about her son. Dr. Albright reassured her not to worry. He said it was a good thing Julian was awake. But the pulse was extraordinary. He had examined Julian just yesterday. The young man's vitality was nearly gone. He had been close to death. But now it was as if he were a new person. Dr. Albright marveled at the change. He described it as a sudden infusion of life force. It was like a divine intervention. Liam listened silently, lost in thought. Julian's sudden improvement was strange. It was not a final burst of energy before death. He had never read of such a case in his medical books. Mrs. Sterling's eyes lit up with hope. She asked if this meant he would recover. The doctor did not dare to make a promise. He cautiously said there was now a glimmer of hope. Mrs. Sterling's voice trembled with emotion. Tears of joy streamed down her face. She turned to her son. She told him he heard the doctor. His illness had a chance of turning around. Julian showed little reaction. He simply said he had heard. The doctor added a final instruction. He said the young master needed quiet rest. Mrs. Sterling wiped her tears. She agreed not to disturb his rest. Then she asked for Liam. She wondered where the young spouse had gone. Everyone looked around, confused. Liam stepped forward. He said he was there. Mrs. Sterling took his hand, her face beaming. She said that Julian's health improved the moment Liam arrived. The spiritualist was truly brilliant. Liam was Julian's savior. She entrusted Julian's future care to him. Julian lifted his head and looked at Liam. Liam offered a faint, unreadable smile. He assured her he would take good care of the young master. An older woman beside Mrs. Sterling chuckled. She playfully corrected Liam. She said he should call him husband, not young master. The room filled with light laughter. No one noticed Liam's hand clenching inside his sleeve. The crowd dispersed. The room returned to its quiet state. The red candle had nearly burned down. Julian lay silently in bed. His brow furrowed and relaxed repeatedly. He seemed to be struggling to remember something. Liam ignored him. He stood by the window, gazing at the unfamiliar moon. Moonlight draped over him like a silver cloak. After a long silence, Julian sighed deeply. He called out to him. "Hey, buddy. No, that's not right. Hey, beautiful, come here." Liam's voice was icy. He asked who Julian was calling. Julian smiled faintly. He asked if anyone else was there. Liam turned around. The flickering candlelight cast a soft glow on his face. It highlighted the small beauty mark near his eye. He was undeniably handsome but seemed irritable. Julian coughed a few times. He gestured for Liam to sit. Liam remained standing by the bed. He kept a careful distance from Julian. Julian explained he had been organizing his thoughts. His tone was calm, unlike his earlier confusion. Liam stated flatly that his thoughts were no concern of his. Julian insisted there was some connection. He said his thoughts were about him. Julian paused, his breathing becoming labored. His face was pale. He said if he had arrived a few days earlier, things would be different. He would not have agreed to this marriage. He would not let Liam become a young widower. Liam's expression remained numb. He asked what use such words were now. Julian conceded the point. The wedding was done, the vows exchanged. The whole city knew they were a married couple. Liam let out a cold laugh. He corrected Julian. He said they did not exchange vows. Julian had been unconscious the entire time. Liam had performed the ceremony with a rooster. Julian chuckled softly. He commented on the absurdity of it all. He said it was better this way. Liam shouldn't take this marriage seriously. He likely wouldn't live another 6 months. Liam would just have to endure it for a short time. After his death, Liam could take his inheritance. He could return to his family and live freely. It was not a total loss. Liam was taken aback. He asked skeptically if such a good deal existed. Julian affirmed that it did. But the amount of inheritance depended on Liam's own skills. Julian leaned back against the soft pillows. His tone was lazy. He said his broken body was not fit for family drama. The Sterling family dynamics were too complex. He just wanted to coast until the end. He wanted to be a lazy, useless fish. Liam did not fully understand all of Julian's slang, but he grasped the main idea. Julian spoke of his impending death so lightly. Was he truly not afraid to die? Julian was clearly weakened by his illness. He had reached his limit for the day. He settled down in the bed. He started to say, "Beautiful." Liam cut him off sharply. He demanded to know what he was calling him. Because of his looks, Liam had often been harassed. He had encountered many unwanted advances while studying abroad. He had a special poison for people who called him pet names. It was a toxin that forced the mouth shut. However, Julian's tone was different. He said the word but did not stare at him lewdly. Perhaps he was not entirely hopeless. Julian closed his eyes. He grumbled about Liam being fierce. He wondered why he was unhappy about a compliment. "Fine," he said. He was going to rest. Liam could do as he pleased. After the night's events, it was past midnight. There was nothing left to do but sleep. A maid had already helped Julian change. She had also wiped his hands and face. But Liam still wore his wedding suit and coronet. The decorative marking on his forehead was still there. His face was still made up. Yes, he had worn makeup today. He had insisted on a minimal amount. The attendant had only defined his brows and colored his lips. But his features were already striking. The makeup made his red lips seem like flames. His eyes were as vivid as a painting. Others had praised his appearance, but it made his own skin crawl. The lipstick felt less like color and more like a shackle. The Sterling family had put this chain on him, so had the powerful forces behind them. He would remember this debt. He also remembered the attendant who insisted on using scented oils. It had made him extremely uncomfortable. As for his unknowing husband, if Julian's words were true, they might find peace. They could live together for 6 months as a couple in name only. If so, he might be able to forgive Julian. He was just a dying man after all. Why should Liam waste his energy on him? There was only one bed in the room. Julian was currently occupying it. Liam decided to spend the night on the chaise lounge. The late winter chill still lingered in the air. Sleeping on the chaise alone would be cold. Liam noticed an extra quilt on the wedding bed. The staff must have prepared it for their young master. They probably assumed he would not want to share a blanket. In that case, Liam would not be polite. Even in his sleep, Julian seemed troubled by pain. His brows were slightly furrowed. Liam moved very quietly to take the quilt, but Julian still woke up. He opened his eyes just as Liam was leaning over. A lock of Liam's hair fell onto Julian's cheek. Tickled slightly, their eyes met. Before Julian could speak, Liam explained. He was just taking the blanket. Julian smiled faintly. He told him to take it. Liam carried the quilt to the chaise. He spread it out and was about to lie down. Julian's voice stopped him. He asked if Liam slept without changing his clothes. The male spouse's wedding attire was elaborate. It was not as complex as a bride's gown, but it had multiple layers and a tight waist. It was far less comfortable than normal clothes. Julian felt tired just looking at him. Liam answered calmly. Of course he would change. He turned his back to Julian. He began to unfasten the outermost clasps. The outer robe slid from his shoulders to his ankles. He removed each layer of clothing. Soon, he wore only a simple sleeping robe like Julian. After changing, he glanced at the bed. Good, Julian was asleep again. The next morning, Liam was a light sleeper. A soft cough from Julian woke him. On the bed, Julian lay on his side. His dark hair partially obscured his face. His sleeping posture was casual and unrestrained. Liam had just risen from the chaise lounge. A knock sounded at the door. A maid announced it was time to get up. According to tradition, they had to serve tea to the elders. Julian showed no signs of waking. Liam opened the door and let the maids in. The maid at the front was Julian's personal attendant, Felicia. She carried a basin of hot water into the room. She noticed the quilt on the chaise. A strange look flickered across her face. Half the maids attended to Liam. The other half tried to wake Julian. Liam changed into a slate blue robe. He tied his long hair back with a simple jade clasp. This ordinary attire still looked elegant on him. It was less ornate than his wedding outfit. He appeared more composed, less striking. Felicia wanted to apply makeup for Liam. Liam told her it was not necessary. Felicia seemed confused. She mentioned that he had worn makeup yesterday. Liam reminded her that was yesterday. He glanced at the makeup box on the table. He told her irritably to take it away. Liam was ready, but Julian was still asleep. Several maids surrounded the bed. They whispered his name gently. They reminded him about serving tea to his parents. They called his name again. Julian remained motionless, his expression peaceful. His hands were clasped on his chest like a statue. Felicia grew anxious. She wondered if the young master had fainted again. Liam walked over. He observed Julian closely for a moment. He said he was not unconscious, just deeply asleep. He could be woken by force. Felicia did not understand. She asked what by force meant. Liam explained it meant being louder or pulling his blanket. But he reminded them that Julian was a patient. Unless they wanted his condition to worsen, they should let him rest. Felicia was in a difficult position. She worried about Mr. and Mrs. Sterling. Liam interrupted her. He asked if they really expected a sick man to serve tea. Were rules more important than his life? It was customary for the new couple to serve tea together. If Julian did not go, Liam likely would not have to either. Before the marriage, Mrs. Sterling had approached his family. He had refused her initial proposal. Only then did she involve the matriarch. This forced his family into an impossible situation. He had no desire to acknowledge them as his in-laws. Felicia did not dare to make the decision. She sent a junior maid to inform Mrs. Sterling. Soon, Mrs. Sterling's personal attendant returned. She relayed her mistress's words. The young master rarely slept so peacefully. They should let him continue to rest. She and Mr. Sterling would be content with Liam's tea alone. Liam sneered softly. He remarked on her profound love for her son. He was in their house and had no choice. Reluctantly, Liam put on a cloak. He followed the attendant to the main hall. Along the way, the attendant chattered about household rules. Liam ignored her, tuning out her voice. Yesterday, he had seen little beyond his own feet. Today, he saw the Sterling estate in its full glory. He had never been in a palace, but he had accompanied his father to other mansions. The Sterling estate's opulence rivaled them all. It had carved beams and ornate decorations. The grandeur spoke of the family's high status. In the main hall, Mr. and Mrs. Sterling sat in large armchairs. Mr. Sterling was in his 40s, stern and quiet. Mrs. Sterling was still graceful, with a kind face. She appeared to be an approachable woman. Liam accepted a cup of tea from the attendant. He briefly imagined putting poison in it. He wondered what poison could make them feel his loss of freedom. The couple drank his tea. Mrs. Sterling smiled warmly. She asked if Liam had slept well. Liam snapped out of his dark thoughts. He replied that it was acceptable. She told him to think of the estate as his home. He should tell her if anything made him uncomfortable. He thanked her. The attendant chided him gently. She reminded him to call her mother, not Mrs. Sterling. This woman was obsessed with titles. Liam thought she should call Mrs. Sterling mother herself. He lowered his eyes. He explained it was a habit that was hard to change. He asked for their forgiveness. Mr. Sterling looked displeased. Mrs. Sterling was more gracious. She said it was fine, there was plenty of time. She recalled her own difficulty adjusting after her marriage. Mr. Sterling added that he should adapt quickly. They needed to avoid becoming a source of gossip. Liam thought of his parents and held his tongue. He simply agreed. Mrs. Sterling took another sip of tea. She mentioned his birth chart. It was a perfect match for Julian's. This was why they had arranged the marriage. She instructed Liam to prioritize his husband. He should stay by his sickbed. Julian needed to absorb Liam's good fortune. Liam nodded woodenly. Mr. Sterling then spoke. He noted that Liam was the son of a great surgeon. He had also studied under a master. His medical skills must be excellent. Liam felt a tightness in his chest. Yes, his skills were excellent. He could have been healing people, saving lives. Now he was trapped in this house. He was expected to be a dutiful spouse. And the man responsible was speaking to him now. He said that while Dr. Albright cared for Julian, Liam could also help. He should not waste his medical talent. Mr. Sterling was also the Secretary of the Treasury. He was busy with state affairs and left after a few words. Mrs. Sterling gave Liam a jade bracelet. She explained it was from her own dowry. She had intended to give it to Julian's first son. She paused, then smiled again. She told Liam to keep it. Liam understood her meaning perfectly. She had gone to great trouble to get Julian a male spouse. Yet she still lamented that he could not bear children. The people of this estate were all insufferable. Only Julian was marginally tolerable. Liam returned to their private wing, the Blue Wind Pavilion. He casually tossed the jewelry box to Felicia. Felicia greeted him. She reported that the young master was still asleep. She wondered aloud if he was all right. He had slept for so long. Liam stopped on his way to the study. He said he would go check. He was not concerned about Julian. He was interested in his rare medical condition. Dr. Albright, who had checked Julian, was a skilled physician. Even he had never seen such a pulse. It was a rare opportunity for study. Liam entered the bedroom. Julian was indeed still asleep, in the same position. He stood by the bed, looking down at Julian. He had to admit Julian resembled his parents very little. His features were far more refined. Liam rolled up his sleeves and reached out. Before he could touch Julian's wrist, his hand was caught. A lazy voice spoke. "Sneaking around. What are you trying to do?" "Liam?" Liam's hand tensed. He told him to let go. He worried that if he struggled, Julian might faint. Julian released him, his eyes still closed. A smile played on his lips. He told him not to be so tense. He did not like men, so Liam had nothing to fear. Liam's eyes widened. He questioned if Julian did not like men. Julian confirmed it was true. He said that while it was common, not everyone was gay. He then opened his eyes. "And you? Are you?" Liam hesitated. In the month since the arranged marriage, no one had asked him that. He was marrying a man. His own preferences seemed irrelevant. "Of course not," he said. Julian coughed into his hand. He said sympathetically that this must be awful for him. To be married off for good luck. Liam's brow furrowed. "Of course it is," he said. "If their roles were reversed, wouldn't he feel the same?" Julian agreed that was why he offered compensation. Liam scoffed. What could he possibly offer? "My inheritance," Julian replied. Liam sneered. An inheritance he would have to fight for himself. Julian asked what other compensation he wanted. As long as it was not too much trouble, he would give it. He wanted to take his medical exams. He wanted to leave the Sterling estate. He wanted to do what he was meant to do. But he knew that was nearly impossible. The marriage was arranged by the matriarch. Even if Julian agreed to a divorce, she would have to approve. Liam was silent for a long moment. He then said, "Give me your hand." Julian protectively held his own wrist. He asked what he wanted. Liam said impatiently that he wanted to check his pulse. Julian relaxed. He held out his arm, exposing his wrist. "All right, Dr. Liam," he said. The room was warm from the fireplace. Julian was bundled under the covers, but his wrist was still cold. Feeling his pulse, Liam frowned. Julian's condition had improved, but the root cause remained. He could feel the sudden vitality Dr. Albright mentioned, but Julian's body was like a bottomless pit. It was slowly consuming this new energy. Unless the root cause was treated, the energy would run out. Julian would still die within 6 months, and there was no cure for the root of his illness. Seeing Liam's grave expression, Julian asked a question. He wondered if he could be saved. Liam asked why he would think that. Julian said it was because he looked unhappy. He put himself in Liam's shoes. He figured Liam would want him to die sooner. Liam could not help but ask, did he truly not care about life and death? Julian said there was nothing to care about. His fate was not in his hands. He told him not to worry. Liam was destined to be a widower. Liam turned and walked away. The patient himself had lost the will to live. Why should he concern himself with it? If Julian died sooner, he could return home sooner. Liam went to the study. He had brought only 2 chests to the estate. One contained clothes, the other medical books. By custom, he could have brought 2 personal attendants. But he was not used to being served by women. At home, a young man who grew up with him was his assistant. Marrying a man was not something to be proud of. He did not want his assistant to bear that stigma. So he had come alone. Now, only his books would be his companions. Among them were ancient texts he had not yet read. He wondered if they held records of similar cases. Burying himself in his books, Liam's mind finally calmed. His peers had always found medical texts tedious. They said 3 pages could put anyone to sleep. But to Liam, they were more fascinating than any novel. Like his father, he had a photographic memory. What took his classmates a day to memorize, he learned in one reading. His father had once considered him for a political career, but he only wanted to be a doctor. He loved the feeling of healing his patients. He wanted to join the world's most prestigious medical institute. He dreamed of researching cures for difficult diseases. He wanted to help people. He was so close, just a little further. A voice called his name. It did not sound like a maid. Liam looked up. It was Mrs. Lou, the attendant obsessed with titles. Liam's tone was cold. "What is it?" he asked. Mrs. Lou beamed. She said it was time for dinner. Liam had no appetite. But starving himself over these people was not worth it. He told her to bring the food to the study. Mrs. Liu waved her hands in protest. She said that was not allowed. Liam's brow furrowed. He asked why not. Was there a rule against eating in the study? She explained that was not the reason. Mrs. Sterling had given specific orders. The young master's life was saved by this marriage. Liam was his good luck charm. The two of them needed to spend more time together. Only then would Julian recover faster. Arguing with such beliefs was pointless. If lucky marriages could cure diseases, who would need doctors? The government would not need to train medical professionals. Just get married when you are sick. Liam looked at Mrs. Liu. He asked her age. Mrs. Liu, confused, still smiled. She said she was 52. Liam remarked that she looked 10 years younger. He might not even live to be 52. He said she was very fortunate. Perhaps if she attended Julian, he would recover faster. Mrs. Liu's smile froze. She said he was joking. Liam's face turned cold. He asked if he looked like he was joking. Leave, he commanded. Mrs. Liu's expression turned ugly. She was Mrs. Sterling's confidant. Everyone in the house, except the masters, respected her. Even the masters showed her courtesy. Who was Liam to speak to her this way? He was just a male spouse bought to extend a life. It was only his first day. Seeing she was not leaving, Liam sneered. A servant ignoring the order of a master. Is this also a rule of the Sterling estate? Mrs. Liu lowered her eyes. She said she would not dare. But she added that Mrs. Sterling had ordered ginseng chicken soup. If Liam did not eat with the young master, it would be a waste. Ginseng chicken soup? Fools, Liam thought. Julian's body was too weak for such rich food. Was she trying to make her son sicker? She had ordered it made, not made it herself. Liam returned to his book. He told her to give it to the young master. Mrs. Liu clenched her jaw. She shot Liam a venomous look before leaving with the soup. The study was quiet again. But Liam felt uneasy. Julian's digestion was weak. Rich supplements would only harm his fragile body. Julian had been sick since birth. Mrs. Sterling, as his mother, must know this. A few times might be fine, but long-term this would weaken him further. He sighed. He would consider it a good deed. Julian's case was rare. He wanted to study it a bit longer. Liam left the study and went to the dining room. Julian was not there. He asked a passing maid where the young master was. The maid said he was too lazy to get up. He wanted to eat in bed. A bedridden patient should rest. Liam went to the bedroom. Before he even entered, he called out, "Your mother sent ginseng chicken soup, you shouldn't." Julian sat in bed, eating plain porridge with side dishes. A small table was set up before him. Most of the food was light, except for a large tureen of rich yellow chicken soup. A clean ladle rested on the side. Julian had not touched a drop of it. Julian chewed slowly, then swallowed. "Dr. Liam," he said, "a rare guest. Have you eaten?" Liam asked why he was not drinking the soup. It was specially ordered by his mother. Julian wiped his mouth with a napkin. He said casually that he never ate what she sent. Liam asked why. Julian replied that he was promised 6 more months. Not a moment less. If they tried to send him off early, there would be trouble. Liam grew more puzzled. He asked why they would want to send him off early. Julian's eyes twinkled. He told him to guess. Liam was speechless. He asked if Julian thought he was being funny. Julian burst out laughing. He laughed so hard he started coughing. His handsome face flushed red. Liam had no idea what was so funny, but it was clear Julian's relationship with Mrs. Sterling was not good. A maid rushed to pat Julian's back. Liam started to reach out, then stopped. He asked what was so amusing. Julian caught his breath, still smiling. I may only have a little humor, but I have a lot of charm. Liam was unimpressed. With your broken body, no amount of charm would be useful. You are right, Julian sighed. This body is so frustrating. If it were my own. Liam asked what he meant by that. Julian just smiled, changing the subject. Since you are here, Dr. Liam, have some food. I cannot drink this soup, but you can. Liam asked where he was supposed to sit. Julian looked around. How about you sit on the bed too? Liam was not amused. No thanks, he said. Enjoy your meal. Goodbye. Wait, Julian called out. I have something for you. I was looking at the wedding gift list. I found something that would be perfect for you. Liam did not even look. I do not want it. Julian made a sking sound. At least look at it first. It will not hurt to look. Flora. Flora was another maid in the room. She was lively and cute. She presented an object with a smile. She said she would not have known what it was. Not if the young master hadn't told her. Liam condescended to glance at it. He paused, surprised. Flora held a leather pouch. Could be rolled up easily. When unrolled, it was a thin flap. Most people would not recognize it. But a doctor would know it instantly. It was a case for acupuncture needles. The inner pockets were for holding the needles. Liam reached out involuntarily. He touched the fine leather. His long lashes trembled. His eyes darkened. Julian smiled. Do you like it? The Sterling wedding had attracted many powerful guests. Liam scanned the gift list. Most items were gold, jade, or antiques. A small needle case was out of place. But Julian had chosen to give him this. Liam looked at the gold thread embroidery on the case. It read, "A joyous union for Julian and Liam." A self-deprecating smile touched his lips. He thanked the young master for the thought. But he asked what the point of this was. Julian coughed into his fist. Of course there is a point. You will use it in the future. Oh, on you alone. Julian's smile faded. He was silent for a moment. I am sorry, that is not what I meant. I was just... He trailed off, his playful demeanor returning. If you do not want it, that is fine. Do not be angry. An angry Dr. Liam is still beautiful. But anger is bad for your health. You know what they say. Getting angry over small things is pointless. And it only hurts yourself. Liam said calmly that he was not angry. Julian gestured to Flora. Flora leaned in close. What is it, master? She asked. Someone is angry, Julian whispered. But I will not tell you who. Liam was speechless. Shoo, Julian said. He put a finger to his lips and glanced toward the window. My mother is coming. Liam sneered. Why are you shushing? You are the one who talks the most. As for your mother, she is probably coming to cause trouble. Julian stroked his chin thoughtfully. Let me guess. She told you to stick close to me, but you ignored her? Liam was so surprised he forgot to be angry. How did you know? Julian smiled mysteriously. I know a lot of things. Liam thought for a moment, then suddenly smiled. He rolled up his sleeve. He picked up the half-eaten bowl of porridge. Young master, he said, let me feed you. Julian was taken aback. Outside, Mrs. Sterling entered the courtyard with Mrs. Lou. Felicia went to greet them. Mrs. Sterling asked where her son was. Felicia replied that he was in the bedroom, eating. She asked if Liam was with him. Felicia shook her head. She said Liam was alone in the study. Mrs. Lou whispered to her mistress. You see, madam, I told you exactly what he said. Mrs. Sterling adjusted a pin in her hair. "Of course I believe you," she said calmly. "Let us go inside and see." Mrs. Lou walked ahead briskly. "The young master just woke up last night. He needs someone to attend to him. There are maids, of course. But a spouse is a spouse. When a husband is ill, how can a wife not care for him? This is only the first day. If he is already so negligent, how can he be worthy?" Everyone said Mrs. Sterling was gentle, but now her face hardened. Her pace quickened. The two of them practically stormed into the bedroom. The wedding decorations were still up. Julian was half reclining on the wedding bed. Liam sat beside him. He held a bowl in one hand. With the other, he offered a spoonful of porridge to Julian. "Young master," he said. Julian said playfully that it was a bit hot. He told Liam to blow on it. Liam narrowed his eyes. His gaze could have bored a hole in Julian's smiling face. Regardless, the scene was picturesque. A handsome, noble man and a striking, elegant spouse. To an outsider, they looked like a harmonious couple. Mrs. Sterling and Mrs. Lou were both stunned. Julian finally looked up at them. "Mother," he asked, "what brings you here?" Mrs. Sterling's frown quickly smoothed out. "I came to see how your appetite is," she said softly. Her eyes darted meaningfully at Mrs. Lou. Mrs. Lou was furious. She hissed at Felicia. "Did you not say he was in the study?" Felicia was bewildered. He was in the study just a moment ago." Liam put down the bowl and stood up. "Mrs. Sterling sent Mrs. Lou just a while ago. Why have you come yourself now? Did you want to personally confirm the young master was eating?" Julian smiled. "It is so cold outside, yet you came to watch me eat. I am touched." Mrs. Sterling forced a smile. What mother does not dote on her child? "Julian, did you drink the chicken soup I sent?" "I wanted to," Julian said, looking at Liam. "But he would not let me." Liam calmly explained. "Medical texts state that one must expel illness before taking tonics. The young master is weak. Strong supplements will only burden his body. This is common knowledge. Surely you know this, Mrs. Sterling?" Mrs. Sterling's face grew darker. She opened her mouth, but no words came out. "Of course mother knows," Julian interjected. "A servant must have forgotten to remind her." He looked pointedly at Mrs. Lou. "Is that not right, Mrs. Lou?" Mrs. Lou glanced at Mrs. Sterling, who avoided her gaze. She understood. She knelt down, her head bowed. Yes, it is my fault. I deserve to be punished." Before Mrs. Sterling could speak, Julian spoke again. "Liam," he asked, "how do you think she should be punished? This concerns the young master's health. A small punishment is necessary to set an example." Liam stated the household rules. A deduction of 3 months' salary and 1 month of hard labor. Julian nodded. "I think that is fair. But my opinion does not matter. It is up to mother to decide." Mrs. Sterling forced another smile. "We will do as Liam says." After that, Mrs. Sterling was clearly distracted. She stayed for a short while, then left with Mrs. Lou. When they were alone again, Julian asked a question. "What did Mrs. Lou do to offend you?" Liam replied flatly. "She told me to change my form of address twice." "Change what? To call me husband?" Liam's handsome face was cold. "Yes." Julian laughed. "You hold a grudge, Dr. Liam." Liam shot him a sharp look. "Is it funny?" Julian suppressed his laughter. "No, I will not laugh. But how did you know the household rules?" Liam said blandly that Mrs. Lou had insisted on telling him. He had tried his best not to listen, but his memory was too good. Julian chuckled softly. Damn, you are so effortlessly cool. The day had been too eventful. By bedtime, Liam realized his mistake. He had forgotten to have a bed prepared in the study. He had planned to sleep at the desk. But Julian sent Flora to ask him to return to the bedroom. Liam entered the room with a stern expression. Julian had just finished his medicine and was ready for bed. He smiled when he saw Liam. "You are here." Liam got straight to the point. "What is the meaning of this?" Julian was confused. "What do you mean? You said we did not have to take this marriage seriously." "That is right. Then why did you ask me to come back here to sleep?" Julian understood and smiled. "You have misunderstood. I did not ask you back to sleep with you." The blunt words made Liam's face flush. "You are a young master of this house. Can you not speak with more decorum?" Julian spoke with mock seriousness. "I did not ask you back to sleep with me. You are a man, after all, no matter how good-looking. And I am not gay." Liam took a deep breath, deciding not to argue. "Just say what you mean. I want to borrow some of your good luck." Julian said thoughtfully, "I always feel that when I am with you, my body feels better." Liam paused. "Are you serious?" Julian nodded. "I am serious." The corner of Liam's mouth twitched into a sneer. "Fool," he muttered. "I cannot believe you believe that nonsense." He had thought Julian was different from the others. He had overestimated him. "I used to believe it less than you. Now I am starting to believe it." Julian spoke slowly. "Dr. Liam, do you believe in souls and reincarnation?" Liam answered decisively. "No." "Why not?" "Because I have never seen it." "But I have." "Then you must have been mistaken." Julian sighed. "I knew no one would believe me." Liam frowned. "So you also believe the spiritualist's nonsense?" Without her astrological reading, there would be no marriage. The spiritualist was high on his list of people to resent. "The spiritualist," Julian mused. "You have reminded me. I should go see this master of the unseen world." Liam said bluntly that he should focus on getting out of bed first. The spiritualist was a revered figure. She was often summoned to the capital by the nation's leaders. Julian would have to request an audience. Julian came back to the present. "Let us not talk about that for now. Dr. Liam, look at the chaise Flora prepared for you." "What chaise?" Liam then noticed it. The chaise lounge he had slept on was now made up. It had a thick mattress, a quilt, and a soft pillow. It had become a small, comfortable bed. Liam was momentarily speechless. He did not know whether to be pleased or annoyed. Julian said magnanimously that he did not mind sleeping with a man, but he was afraid Liam would. When Liam studied abroad, he sometimes shared rooms with classmates. Two straight men sleeping in the same room was nothing. But Julian was his husband in name. He could not treat him like a normal man. In any case, the chaise was better than a desk. It would also prevent Mrs. Sterling from causing trouble. Liam made his decision. "I am going to wash up." Night deepened. The lights in the estate went out one by one. The two newly married men were in the same room. One slept on the bed, the other on the chaise. A screen embroidered with mandarin ducks stood between them. Julian had slept too much during the day. He was not very sleepy now. He lay with his hands behind his head, chatting with Liam. "Dr. Liam, how old are you?" Liam, with his eyes closed, answered listlessly. "Teen." Julian mused that he was a few months older. He asked if he could call him Liam. Liam asked if his head hurt. Julian considered it. "No, it does not. I thought your illness might have confused you about your age." "Oh, how old am I?" Was this man genuinely foolish or just pretending? Getting annoyed before sleep was unhealthy. Liam tried to be patient. 19. "Oh, that is great." Julian laughed. Then you can call me Big Brother Julian. Liam turned over, showing Julian the back of his head. Go to sleep, young master. You can have anything in your dreams. Julian laughed softly to himself. A beautiful man with a terrible temper. How is such a compelling character not the protagonist? The night was dark. Liam was exhausted and fell into a deep sleep. The country valued medicine highly. Besides the capital's medical institutions, there was a national academy. It trained and selected the best medical talent. Like other professional exams, it was held every 3 years. Anyone could take it regardless of background. Passing meant access to rare books and top experts. It was a sacred place for doctors. The exams were notoriously difficult. Liam was exceptionally talented. His mentor had predicted he would pass on his first try. But he had still prepared diligently for 3 years. The day of the exam finally arrived. He waited outside with a few classmates. He was confident and at ease. He showed none of the others' nervousness. The large red doors of the examination hall slowly opened. Liam's eyes shone with anticipation. He walked up the steps toward his dream. He was about to reach the light, but a strange voice called his name. It was a man in an official's uniform. Liam could not see his face clearly. He only saw the official scroll in his hands. An official decree. Liam Hayes received the order. Liam knelt. The other candidates seemed unfazed. They walked past him into the hall. They became blurry shadows behind him. By order of the highest authority. Julian Sterling, a man of noble character, is of marriageable age. Liam Hayes, son of Dr. David Hayes, is virtuous and comely. A marriage is hereby decreed between them. A date shall be set for the wedding. So it is ordered. Liam looked up in horror. The bright light of the scroll blinded him. The doors of the academy slammed shut. Liam woke up with a start. In the silence, he could only hear his own breathing. His heartbeat slowly returned to normal. But the frustration and resentment remained. It was a thick, dark ink spreading in his heart. The dream was different from reality. In reality, the official had gone directly to his home. His exam eligibility was revoked immediately. He became the male spouse of the Sterling estate before the exam date. There was still an hour until dawn. Liam could not sleep. He got off the chaise to get some tea. Suddenly, he heard a low, pained groan. It was Julian's voice. Liam lit a lamp and hurried to the bedside. Young master? Julian was curled up on the bed. His body was arched in pain. His eyes were closed, his face contorted. Sweat matted his hair to his face. Liam called his name again. Julian? Julian opened his eyes, his gaze unfocused. Dr. Liam? It is me. Dr. Liam, I do not feel well. Liam checked Julian's pulse. He confirmed it was a cardiac episode. I know, he said, his voice unusually gentle. Your chest hurts. Does it not? Julian nodded. Hold on, I will be right back. Julian's voice was weak. Are you going to get a knife? Liam was baffled. Why would I get a knife? To finish the job? Liam's tone returned to its usual coldness. I have no interest in killing people. Though before the wedding, he had considered it. He had thought about drugging Julian to render him impotent. If Julian hadn't been so reasonable on their wedding night, Julian might have been a eunuch by now. Liam took a wooden medical kit from his luggage. It contained many of his creations. Most were poisons, but some were remedies. Liam returned to the bed. He held a porcelain bottle and a needle case. This is a heart-calming pill. It will ease your symptoms. Do you want to take it? I guess I will, Julian said. Liam suppressed the urge to walk away. He helped Julian sit up and gave him the pill. Just in case, I will also give you some acupuncture. Julian seemed to remember a bad childhood experience. He tried to push himself up. Acupuncture? He asked nervously. Yes, acupuncture. Julian lay back down. Be gentle, then. Liam replied that he would be forceful. Julian was silent. Liam took a deep breath. Acupuncture required intense concentration. Dr. Liam, am I dying again? If you can save me, do it. If not, do not force it. Julian sighed. I have only had a few days of normal sleep. Be quiet, Liam said. A thin layer of sweat formed on his forehead. His eyes were focused as he inserted the first needle. I will not let you die. At least not tonight. After the medicine and needles, Julian's symptoms eased. He soon fell asleep. Liam let out a breath of relief. He looked out the window. The sky was beginning to lighten. The next day, Julian did not wake up until late afternoon. Flora was worried. She kept checking to see if he was breathing. Liam saw her. If you are that idle, go sweep the courtyard. Flora looked concerned. Young master, he has slept for 12 hours. Is that normal? Liam was unconcerned. Patients sleep more. But before Flora could relax, he added another comment. Though he does sleep an extraordinary amount. Was he sleep-deprived before? Flora shook her head. No, he has always been weak. He has spent most of his life in bed. He always slept whenever he felt tired. Liam heard this and fell into thought. Julian finally woke up around 2 in the afternoon. He called Liam to his bedside to thank him. Dr. Liam, thank you for last night. I do not know what I would have done without you. Liam saw he looked better. He did not hold back his sharp tongue. You would have died of your illness, of course. I am so grateful. I cannot repay you. I have decided to do something difficult for you. Liam was indifferent. That is not necessary. Just talk less before you sleep. Julian smiled. Am I too talkative? As they were talking, Felicia entered. She announced that the third young lady was here. The third young lady was Julian's younger sister. Liam had not met her yet. Julian thought for a moment, then spoke slowly. Third young lady, what does she want? Liam said she was obviously here to visit. I will not disturb your sibling reunion. Julian grabbed his sleeve. You are in such a hurry. I did not say I wanted to see her. Felicia was surprised. Master, you were not seeing her? You two used to be the closest. She even brought handmade knee warmers for you. She came yesterday too, but you were asleep. Liam disliked the Sterling family, but Julian was not him. His sister had come to visit several times. How could a brother ignore her? Liam said if he did not see her now, she would come again. She is your sister. What are you hiding from? I am not hiding. I am just too lazy for their pretenses. Julian thought for a moment. How about this, Felicia? Go and tell her that I am dead. With that, Julian turned over in bed. He presented a lonely, stubborn back to them. After a few days of careful nursing, Julian seemed better. Liam thought he could try walking a bit. Julian took his advice. He got out of bed and took 2 difficult steps. He felt weak and his whole body was soft. He lay back down again. He said contentedly that nothing is difficult if you give up. I choose to give up. Liam asked if he planned to spend the rest of his days in bed. Julian asked what was wrong with that. Liam was speechless. Fine, you can lie there. Liam believed in hard work and self-improvement. He could not stand Julian's listless attitude. He stayed out of the room all day. Out of sight, out of mind. Today was the day for the newlyweds to visit the bride's family. Liam did not consider himself a bride, but he did miss his family. It had only been a few days, but it felt like years. Early in the morning, Mrs. Sterling sent a manager to their wing. Under his direction, servants brought 2 chests of gifts. They were for Liam to take to his family. Flora, who was young and outspoken, commented on the small amount. Only 2 chests? When Mrs. Sterling marries off a maid, she sends more than this. The manager smiled apologetically. The amount of gifts depends on the dowry brought. The young spouse brought a small dowry, so the return gifts are also small. This was true. When his parents prepared his dowry, he had insisted on less. He wanted to bring nothing at all. He had refused his father's antiques and his mother's jewelry. Bringing those things to the Sterling estate would tarnish them. Liam knew his parents did not care about material things. They only wanted him to be safe. He said they would not take the 2 chests either. The manager was stunned. He asked what the young spouse meant. Leave them for Mr. and Mrs. Sterling to enjoy. Flora knew that these return gifts were a matter of face. She urged Liam to take at least something. If a newlywed returns home empty-handed, people will gossip. His family had already been gossiped about enough. Let them talk, Liam said flatly. Same-sex relationships were common among the elite. But a man could not be a legal wife because he could not bear heirs. The law stipulated 1 man, 1 woman, and multiple concubines. If not for Julian's illness and the spiritualist's words, the law would not have been bent. Liam was the first male spouse by decree. This alone made his small family famous in the city. The manager grumbled to himself. He heard Liam ask if the car was ready. It is ready, he replied. There is one more thing. The manager cleared his throat. Mrs. Sterling said the young master is not fully recovered. It is cold outside, so he should not go. Liam was calm. Do not worry. I did not plan on bringing him. Liam got into the car alone. The 2 estates were on opposite sides of the city. The round trip would take most of the day. Passing through a bustling commercial street, Liam stopped the driver. Wait here, he said. The street was lined with shops of all kinds. Liam went into a wine shop. He bought 2 jars of fine wine. Then he went next door to a bakery. He bought several pounds of candied fruit. This was enough to bring home. Liam's family knew he was coming home today. They had left the main gate open early in the morning. When it was about time, his mother and younger brother waited at the door. His personal assistant, Juan, was with them. As the car approached, Liam looked out the window. He saw a small child jumping and waving at the car. It was his 6-year-old brother, Linus. Liam's tense heart finally relaxed. As soon as Liam got out of the car, his brother hugged him. Brother, he cried. Linus was losing his baby teeth. He spoke with a slight lisp. Master, Juan said excitedly. He looked as if Liam had returned from a war. Liam patted his brother's head. He looked at the gentle woman beside him. Mother, he said. His mother's eyes filled with tears. It is good you are back. She looked at the car nervously. Is the young master still in the car? Liam said that the young master was bedridden. He could not go out. He told us to consider him dead. His mother was shocked. Liam smiled reassuringly. Let us not talk about others at home. Where is father? Your father's former student is visiting. He is in the living room. Liam asked which student. His mother said it was Todd. Liam's smile faded slightly. He has great timing. He chose this specific day to visit. Todd's family owned the largest pharmacy in the city. He was one of his father's students. Liam knew him, but did not particularly like him. The man was always competing with others. It was tiresome. Compared to Todd, even Julian seemed pleasant. Regardless, his mother was relieved Julian did not come. She and her husband just wanted to see their son. An in-law's presence would have made them feel constrained. Let us not stand at the door. Come in. I have made your favorite pastries. Liam asked if she had made them herself. His mother smiled. Of course. No one else makes them to your liking. Liam smiled softly. The coldness around him seemed to melt away. The driver from the estate stared, amazed. Was this the same cold, distant young spouse? As Liam entered, Todd greeted him warmly. "Liam, we have been waiting for you." Todd was well-dressed and had a scholarly air. He looked like a promising young man at first glance. Liam gave him a slight nod. He then bowed to the man in the main seat. "Father." His father's expression did not change much, but his eyes flickered. "You are back." Todd looked outside. "Why are you alone? Where is the young master?" Liam said coldly that he did not come. Todd looked surprised. "I have never seen a newlywed return home without their spouse." "Really? Well, now you have." His father spoke carefully. "Perhaps the young master is not well enough to travel. Even so, should he not have sent a note?" Todd openly sized up Liam. Liam wore a simple white outfit today. He was naturally slender. The clothes made him look ethereal. Beautiful but too aloof. A male spouse acting so superior. Would his husband even like that? He understood now. Liam was not favored by his new family. "You still look as stunning as ever, Liam." Todd smiled. "But you are a master of the Sterling estate now. Why are you dressed so plainly?" Liam looked Todd up and down. "I cannot compare to you, Todd. You are in vibrant colors with jade pendants. You look more like a high society male spouse than I do." Todd's face twitched. He quickly recovered. "You are joking, Liam. Speaking of high society, where are your return gifts? Let me see the wealth of the Sterling estate." Liam held up the 2 jars of wine. "Here." His father saw this and exchanged a smile with him. Todd's eyes widened. "That is all?" Even if Liam was out of favor, he was a legal spouse. How could the gifts be so meager? "And some candied fruit," Liam said calmly. "Would you like to try some, Todd?" Linus heard candied fruit and got excited. "I want some." "Thank you, brother." Todd spoke in a jesting tone. "Are you hiding the good things, Liam? Not wanting to share with your parents?" "I think this is excellent," his father said. "My dear, please warm up the wine. I will have a drink with Liam and Todd." Todd hesitated. "Sir, I am afraid that is against etiquette." His father asked how it was against etiquette. Todd seemed reluctant to speak. Liam is a married spouse now. How can he drink at the same table as another man? His father's face darkened. Even though his son was married to a man, he was still a man. But others might not see it that way. The Sterling estate had strict rules. Whether a male spouse could even meet other men was questionable, let alone drink with them. It is indeed against the rules. Liam appeared calm, but he was thinking of poisons. What toxin would suit Todd's mouth? "Then what are you waiting for, Todd? Please leave." Todd was taken aback. He had not seen the drama he wanted. He did not want to leave yet. He laughed awkwardly. "To be honest, I came here today for another reason. Besides paying my respects to my teacher, I have a favor to ask." Before he could finish, a steward rushed in. "Sir, madam, the son-in-law is here." Liam's voice was cold. "Who is the son-in-law? Do not use that term. It is the young master." Juan, who followed the steward, clarified. "It is the young master of the Sterling estate. What was Julian doing here instead of sleeping in his bed?" Liam composed himself. "I will go see." His father said grimly that they would go too. Julian was a noble. If they did not greet him, it would be a slight. Word could get back to the Sterling estate. Liam's situation would become more difficult. Todd's eyes darted around. He followed them. Liam reached the courtyard. He saw Julian in a wheelchair, being pushed by an attendant. Julian smiled, the picture of a refined gentleman. Liam, you came home without me. He saw Liam's dark expression and lowered his voice. What is wrong? Why are you angry in your own home? Julian had gained some color in his face recently, but his skin was still paler than normal. He held a small hand warmer. He wore a crimson robe and a white cloak. A white fox fur blanket covered his legs. He did not look bulky, but rather elegant and handsome. Julian in bed was like a salted fish. Out of bed, he looked quite presentable. Before Liam could speak, his parents came out. Julian turned his head slightly. His attendant understood. He took the warmer and blanket and helped Julian stand. Julian stood steadily. He bowed to Liam's parents. Greetings, father-in-law, mother-in-law. I apologize for my late arrival. His manners were graceful and appropriate. He was the epitome of a high society young man. Linus hid behind his brother, staring at Julian. Brother, that man is very handsome. It is an illusion, Liam said coldly. His father said that the young master did not need to be so formal. He was ill and should sit. Julian sat back in his wheelchair. His gaze fell on Todd. And who is this? Greetings, young master. Todd stepped forward respectfully. I am Todd, a student of Dr. Hayes. My family owns the Evergreen Pharmacy in the city. Julian smiled slightly. Ever what? Todd quickly repeated the name. Evergreen. Julian asked again. What green? Todd vaguely realized he was being mocked. But given Julian's status, he could only smile. It is evergreen. Ever what green? What was this nonsense? Liam interrupted them. It is cold out here. Father, mother, please go inside. I will handle the young master. His mother reached for Linus. Linus, do not cling to your brother. Come to me. After his parents left, Liam whispered to Julian. Are you on the wrong medication? Alone with Liam, Julian dropped the pretense. He looked tired. I came to back you up, Dr. Liam, I do not need it. Something is not right here, Liam frowned. You are usually not even awake at this hour. I know. I tried several times to get up. Julian smiled. I went to all this trouble for you. To repay you for the medicine and needles. Are you moved? Not at all, Liam said coolly. Julian raised an eyebrow. So I should leave? Liam thought for a moment. Fine. Find an excuse and go back to the estate. Julian was stunned. He felt the world was unfair. That is harsh, man. Julian looked deeply wronged. As if he had braved fire and storm to get here. Liam wanted to laugh. Julian had just woken up an hour earlier than usual. He had taken a car and was now in a wheelchair. What was there to be wronged about? One Todd was bad enough. Just as he was about to get rid of him, Julian showed up. He just wanted a peaceful meal with his family. Why was it so hard? Seeing Liam was unmoved, Julian resigned himself. He had come and brought gifts. He had put on a decent act for Liam's sake. He had repaid his debt. Going back to sleep sounded good. It was cold out and pretending to be nice was tiring. Julian shrugged. Fine. I will say I have an urgent matter to attend to. Before Liam could reply, a small head peeked out from the room. Brother, why are you not coming in? Linus looked curiously at Julian. Julian smiled back at him. Liam said, just a moment. He turned to Julian. Then you? Julian said that according to etiquette, he should say goodbye to his parents. Liam snorted. You seem to know etiquette well. Why are you asking me? Julian smiled. So my act was convincing just now. Liam pushed Julian's wheelchair inside. His family had already set a place for Julian. The room was warm but not stuffy. The aroma of wine filled the air. 2 bamboo plants stood in a corner, adding a touch of elegance. The food on the table was light, catering to his family's tastes. There was a pastry that was white with pink swirls. It looked like intertwined plum blossoms. Julian could not help but look at it. His father said, "Young master, please have a seat." Julian paused, then smiled. "I will not stay for the meal. I came to bid farewell to my in-laws." Todd looked meaningfully at Liam. "Why are you leaving so soon, young master? Not even staying for a meal?" Julian coughed lightly. "I am afraid my body cannot take much more. I need to go back and lie down. My apologies." His mother said that the journey back was long. The car ride would be bumpy. The young master should rest here first. Julian looked troubled. Liam, what do you think?" Liam saw the playful look in Julian's eyes. Julian was using his health as an excuse. Anyone with a brain could see his intention. This was his family home. His father was a renowned surgeon. He was practically the best doctor in the country. Complaining about his health in front of him was a clear hint. Liam saw through it but did not expose him. "As you wish." Only then did Julian say he would gratefully accept the offer. Before the meal, Liam pushed Julian to wash his hands. "After dinner, let my father check your pulse." Julian was non-committal. "There is no need. This is a terminal illness. Cannot be cured." Liam sneered. "Stop pretending. This is why you stayed, is it not?" Julian washed his hands slowly. "No," he said frankly. "I just wanted to try that pastry. It looks delicious. I am a little hungry." Coming from anyone else, Liam would not have believed it. But from Julian, it sounded plausible. For a lazy person, eating was as important as sleeping. Liam turned and saw Todd was still there. He spoke to him directly. "You cannot drink with me. Why are you still here?" Todd seemed prepared. "I was fortunate to meet the young master today. I believe he is an open-minded man. He would not be as strict as others about your situation. I just want to toast my teacher. The young master would not mind, would he?" "Of course I would," Julian said with a smile. "We are all men. No need for such formalities." Liam shot Julian a glare. He regretted not using more needles on him that night. He was only making things worse. Just as Todd was about to sit, Julian asked a question. "Are you married, Todd?" Todd replied that he had been married for 3 years. Julian let out a small ah. "What a shame. If your wife knew you were drinking with us, would she be angry?" Everyone at the table was confused. Todd did not understand. "Why would my wife be angry?" Julian explained. "You are drinking with a male spouse and the man who married him. That does not seem to fit the rules." Liam glanced at him. This man was full of mischief. Todd's smile was strained. "You are joking, young master. My wife would not be angry about that." "You never know," Julian said with a light laugh. "For the sake of your domestic harmony, I think we should skip the wine today. Next time, for sure." Julian's dismissal was obvious even to 6-year-old Linus. Linus looked up at his mother. "Is that man leaving, Mommy?" His mother did not know what to say. Todd prided himself on his education. The situation was too awkward. He had to save face. Today is Liam's first visit home after his wedding. It is not appropriate for an outsider to be here. "I will take my leave now. I will visit my teacher and the young master another day." His father did not stop him. He told Juan to see him out. As Todd reached the door, he heard Julian's voice. "I almost forgot one thing. Liam left in a hurry today. He forgot the 5 carloads of return gifts. Luckily, I noticed in time and had them brought over. The cars are parked outside now." Todd gritted his teeth and yanked the jade pendant from his waist. By seniority, his father sat at the head of the table. His mother was next to him. Liam and Julian sat together. One whispered softly while the other listened intently. They looked like a pair of affectionate newlyweds. His parents exchanged a complicated look. They did not know their conversation was like this. Liam? Who told you to bring things? Take them back later. Julian? I know you find the Sterling Estates things dirty, but these can be sold for money. Why be difficult with money? When I die, you can use it to live lavishly. You can watch them cry at my funeral. Is that not satisfying? Liam imagined the scene and narrowed his eyes. He turned and told a servant to bring the things inside. Julian happily reached for the pastry he had been eyeing. That is more like it. After the meal, his father made an offer. I have heard about the young master's condition. If you trust me, may I examine you? Julian put on a surprised and pleased expression. I would be honored. His father nodded. Please follow me. Liam pushed Julian to his father's study. His father washed his hands. He placed a warm jade pulse pillow under Julian's wrist. He closed his eyes to concentrate. The room was silent. His father's face was unreadable. After checking the pulse, he asked Julian a few questions. Julian answered them truthfully. His father spoke. The root of your illness is congenital. Treating the symptoms is easy, but the cause is difficult. You must rest well and avoid stress. His father's words were vague and familiar. Julian did not ask for more details. He smiled tiredly. Thank you, father-in-law. A guest room has been prepared. You may rest for a while. His father then said to him, Liam, stay for a moment. Liam nodded and had a servant take Julian out. When Julian was gone, his father asked a question. Have you examined the young master's condition? Yes. What do you think? Liam said that for Julian to live to 19 was a miracle. He was living on borrowed time. When that energy runs out, it will be his end. His father nodded in agreement. He asked how much longer he thought he had. 6 months. His father was silent for a long time. I have a method that might give him another year, but the side effects are severe, could increase his pain. Liam asked without hesitation what the method was. I will write down the prescription for you later. His father looked into his eyes. The question is, do you want him to live that extra half year? Was that even a question? The sooner Julian died, the sooner he would be free. 6 months was a long time. He did not have the patience for another 6 months. So, of course, he did not. Liam walked out of the study distractedly. He ran into his mother bringing tea for his father. She told him Julian was resting in the guest room. She asked if he wanted to go see him. Liam said it was not necessary. Let him rest. His mother hesitated, then asked a question. Liam, is the young master good to you? It does not matter if he is good or not, Liam said flatly. It is just a 6-month misfortune. Liam planned to take another chest of medical books back. When he got to his study, he saw Todd and Juan by the door. He frowned. Why are you still here? Juan explained that Todd had lost his jade pendant. He was helping him look for it. He should be looking in the main hall. Coming to my study must mean you have something to say. Todd did not deny it. Nothing escapes you, Liam. To be honest, I remembered something important. I did not want to disturb everyone again. So I used the lost pendant as an excuse to wait. Liam did not want to waste words on him. Speak. Todd put on a pained expression. You know the medical academy exams are approaching. I am very nervous about it. Liam knew Todd was trying to provoke him. He was trying to twist the knife. It was a clever move. The academy exam was a sore spot for him. But that did not mean anyone could mock him about it. You failed 3 years ago. You should be nervous. Todd was hit where it hurt. He forced a smile. I have been studying day and night for this exam. Liam praised him. Slow birds must fly first. Hard work can make up for a lack of talent. Well done. Todd's face finally darkened. Every word from Liam sounded like both praise and mockery. A natural talent like Liam could never understand their struggle. At least I can take the exam again this year. Todd stared at Liam. I know you have many rare medical books. Since you will not be using them, why not lend some to me? If I pass, I will reward you handsomely. Liam looked up. My books, can you even understand them? He turned and flicked his sleeve. Juan, show him out. The sky began to darken. The estate's driver sent a message. It was time to return. His mother packed some pastries for him to take. I saw the young master enjoyed the plum pastries. I packed some extra. They will not spoil in the cold. Liam said he probably liked to eat everything. His mother smiled gently. The young master is not awake yet. You should go wake him. Liam went to the guest room. Julian was already awake, staring at the ceiling. He asked when he had woken up. About half an hour ago. Then what are you doing? Julian had wrapped himself in the quilt. Only his eyes were visible. His voice was muffled. Lazing in bed. It is cold outside. I do not want to get up. I want to be a blanket. Liam had no time for this. He grabbed a corner of the quilt and yanked it off. His voice was cold. I am not one of your maids. That trick will not work on me. Julian sat up slowly, unbothered. What trick? I did not use any tricks on you. He saw Liam's expression. He asked who had bothered him now that Todd was gone. No one. Julian blinked. Liam was silent, then finally could not hold it in. Todd is preparing for the academy exams. He asked to borrow my books. Julian laughed. That is it? Liam's gaze was sharp as a knife. Julian tried to reason with him. Todd is not even on your level. If you take him seriously, you are lowering yourself. Just treat him as a joke. You can even have some fun with it. I know that, Liam said with a self-mocking smile. But Todd, a fool who could not tell herbs apart a few years ago, can take the exam. And I cannot. It is laughable. Julian sighed. Yes, it is all the Sterling estate's fault. I will try to die sooner before the exams. How about that? Liam closed his eyes, his long lashes trembling. Julian was silent for a moment, then smiled. All right, do not be angry. It is rare to be home. Be happy. Smile a little, okay? Liam was impassive. I am not a smiling person by nature. Why are you getting angrier? I have a 7-word mantra. It is my motto. Maybe it will help you. Shall I tell you? No, just listen. It will not hurt. Liam pressed his temples. If you want to say it, just say it. Why all the preamble? Julian's eyes were sincere. Do not compare yourself to others. After getting everything ready, they said goodbye to his parents. The whole family saw them off at the gate. Julian got into the car first. This gave Liam a moment to say a proper goodbye. A spouse in a noble house could not visit home easily. He needed permission from the matriarch. He could only go a few times a year. His mother was tearful. Linus held his brother's hand tightly. But the most emotional was Juan. He had wanted to follow Liam to the Sterling estate. Liam had left him behind for his own good. Juan was an orphan. Serving his young master was all he had ever known. Without Liam, he felt lost. He begged to go with Liam this time. His mother also spoke up. You have no one you can trust there. Take Juan with you. Your father and I will be more at ease. Liam considered it, then finally nodded. Juan, pack your things and get in the car. Juan's tears turned to a smile. Liam got into the car and explained the situation to Julian. Julian smiled carelessly. That is good news. The Blue Wind Pavilion has too many women. Too much energy. Liam sighed. I just do not want him to be trapped in the inner court like me. Julian disagreed. What is wrong with being trapped in the inner court? For an ambitious person like you, it is a trap. But for me, please let me stay here forever. Thank you. Liam turned his head away. We have nothing in common. The car started moving. Liam watched his family's figures recede. Goodbye, brother. Linus waved his small hand. Seeing Julian, he bravely added another farewell. Goodbye, brother Julian. Julian smiled. Goodbye, little Linus. He closed the car window and turned to Liam. Your brother seems to like me. Liam nodded. Linus has always judged people by their looks. I have tried to change him, but he only likes handsome people. Julian's lips curved upwards. I think I heard someone complimenting me. Liam glanced at him. You are acceptable. He did not agree with Julian's lifestyle, but his face was tolerable. Julian was surprised. He did not expect a compliment from Liam, even if Liam did not think it was a compliment. Julian became modest. You flatter me, number one beauty. Liam asked who the number one beauty was. You are. Liam frowned. There is no such thing. The world is vast. No one has seen everyone. How can you compare? Julian smiled faintly. Someone has seen them all. And she told me. Liam did not believe this nonsense. Absurd. Julian's smile did not fade. He stroked his chin. She also told me that my face ranks in the top 5 in this story. But I think it is average. Worse than my old one. He started rambling again. Liam closed his eyes and tuned him out. Mrs. Sterling probably knew about the 5 carloads of gifts. He wondered what she thought. Would she use it to cause trouble? Technically, it was not his business. She should confront her own son. But she always doted on Julian on the surface. She would probably not be so direct. Tomorrow, when he went to pay his respects, she would hint at it. Thinking of this, Liam felt annoyed. Back at the estate, Julian was half asleep. He was carried out of the car. Juan pushed his wheelchair, following Liam. As they neared their wing, Julian woke up. He yawned. Are we going the wrong way? This was the way to the Blue Wind Pavilion. Liam told Juan to ignore him and keep going. Julian rested a hand on the armrest. According to etiquette, should we not report to my mother first? Liam stopped and looked back at him. According to etiquette, you should greet her every morning. Have you done that? No. Julian tried to sound firm. So we should go now while I am awake. Liam became suspicious. Julian usually avoided his mother. What was their relationship really like? Today, after a long day out, Julian was clearly exhausted. Yet he wanted to see her. Perhaps, Liam had a guess. Your filial piety is admirable. Let us go then. They went to Mrs. Sterling's courtyard. She had just finished a late supper. She ordered more tea and snacks for them. Liam pushed Julian in and they greeted her. She saw Julian look tired and pale. She said with concern that while it was right for a husband to accompany his spouse home, Julian was sick. His family would have understood if he had not gone. Julian smiled. Liam said the same thing. He even tried to leave without me. Mother, do you think he should be punished? Liam raised an eyebrow. So this was what Julian was up to. Mrs. Sterling looked at Liam, her expression faltering slightly. She spoke softly. Liam was concerned for your health. Why should he be punished? Julian laughed lightly. Since Mother says so, then we will not punish him. But do not do it again. Do not leave me behind, all right, Liam? Liam felt a mix of emotions. Yes. Julian chatted with his mother for a bit longer. He then mentioned the return gifts casually. I took them from my birth mother's dowry. That is why I did not inform you beforehand. I hope you do not mind, Mother. Mrs. Sterling smiled and took a sip of tea. Those things were left to you by your birth mother. You may do with them as you please. Liam had heard that Mrs. Sterling was not Julian's birth mother. His birth mother was the daughter of a very powerful duke. The duke's other daughter was the current empress. Julian had a prestigious background, but his mother died in childbirth. He was born weak and sickly. The doctors said he would not live to 20. His father had remarried Mrs. Sterling. They had a son and a daughter together. Julian was raised by Mrs. Sterling. She was said to treat him better than her own children. At least that is what the matchmaker had told him. After leaving Mrs. Sterling's, Julian was exhausted. He went straight to bed after taking his medicine. Liam rested on the chaise, the screen between them. He thought about the day's events. "Young master, are you asleep?" Julian's voice came from behind the screen. "Not yet. Do you want to have a late-night chat?" Liam spoke slowly. "Actually, you are not a fool." "Of course I am not." Julian sounded amused. "What were you thinking?" "I was always top of my class." Liam did not believe him. "A lazy person like you could be top of your class?" Julian's voice grew faint. "Hating school and being top of the class are not mutually exclusive." "How so?" "There are things I hate doing, but I know they have benefits, so I force myself to do them. Studying is like that. Visiting my mother is also like that." Liam thought for a moment, then asked another question. "But you have been sick since birth. When did you have the chance to study with others?" Liam waited for a reply, but there was no answer. Julian had fallen asleep. After the new year, the weather grew warmer. The difficult winter was over for the sick. With the warmth, Julian's health improved. He no longer needed a wheelchair to get around. Besides sleeping, he developed new hobbies. He enjoyed walking with his bird, admiring flowers, and playing games. Anything that did not require much effort. One day, Liam was mixing herbs in the study. The prescription was from his father. He wanted to understand its secrets. He had not decided whether to use it on Julian. Some of the herbs were toxic. They would cause the patient additional pain. He wondered if there were milder alternatives. A clear bird song interrupted his thoughts. The sound was beautiful, but it was distracting. Liam tried to ignore it and focus, but the singing continued, mixed with laughter. Liam lost his patience. He opened the window and spoke coldly to the person outside. "Young master, please control your bird." Julian looked up, holding a golden birdcage. He was surrounded by maids and Juan. They were all enchanted by the singing warbler. Behind him, a peach tree was in early bloom. "Dr. Liam," Julian called from across the courtyard. His voice was carried on the spring breeze. "Do you want to come play with my bird?" Julian's face was still pale and thin, but Liam sensed a different energy from him. He felt that Julian should not be so frail. He should be a dashing young man, admired by all. "I am busy," Liam said. "Can you please be quieter?" Julian apologized. "But you have been in the study all day. You should take a break." Juan agreed. "Yes, master. The weather is so nice. Come listen to the bird with us. Idle hands are the devil's workshop." "I will pass." Liam slammed the window shut. Julian said with regret that his master could be quite boring sometimes. Juan, though playing with Julian, defended his master. "That is because we are at the Sterling estate. He was not like this at home." Julian remembered that Liam had traveled extensively with his mentor. "You are right," he said with a smile. "But even his dullness, I find..." Before he could finish, a loud crash came from the study. Everyone rushed inside. Liam was leaning against a bookshelf. Books and a fallen stool were scattered around him. Juan asked anxiously if his master was all right. Liam said calmly that he was fine. He had just missed a step while putting away books. He saw the crowd at the door and looked uncomfortable. "Do you have nothing better to do?" Julian supported his arm and smiled. "No need to be shy. Even a fallen beauty is still beautiful. I did not fall. I twisted my ankle." A sharp pain shot through him. Liam grunted. "Help me to the bedroom. The medicine is there. You cannot walk like this." Julian said he would carry him. Liam was shocked. What was wrong with Julian? Did he suddenly forget how frail he was? Julian slipped an arm around his waist and lifted him. At that moment, Julian's face changed. He staggered, nearly falling with Liam in his arms. Juan quickly steadied him. Liam's face was white with pain. "I am begging you. Please do not make things worse." Julian had never been so flustered. "I did not mean. I will do it, young master. I am strong." Julian watched as Juan easily lifted Liam onto his back. Juan ran towards the bedroom. Julian let out a low laugh. "Damn it." Juan carried Liam into the room and placed him on the chaise. Liam directed him to get the medical kit. He found the liniment for sprains. Flora saw Liam sweating from the pain. She asked worriedly if she should call a doctor. Juan, taking off Liam's shoes, said that was a silly thing to say. "My master is the best doctor." Liam poured the liniment into his hand. He began to rub his injured ankle. A faint medicinal scent filled the room. Flora offered to help rub it for him. She said she was good at massage. "No need," Liam said through the pain. "Go get a basin of cold water and a cloth. I need to apply a cold compress after this." Liam was rubbing his ankle when he noticed the silence. Where was the most talkative person? Liam looked up. Julian was sitting at the table, looking unhappy. Remembering Julian's near fall, Liam asked if he was hurt. Julian shook his head. "Is your injury bad?" "It is not serious. It will heal in 3 days." Julian smiled faintly. "That is good." Liam added dryly that it would have only taken 2 days. But after being dropped by him, Julian covered his face in shame. "Do not say it. I was wrong." To make up for it, Julian offered his wheelchair to Liam. Liam did not accept. He had Juan attend to him. When he needed to move, Juan supported him. Flora was serving Julian his medicine. She saw Liam, dressed in white, walking slowly with Juan's help. His long hair fell over his shoulder. His brow was furrowed in pain. Even she felt a pang of sympathy. Julian asked casually if he looked good. Flora nodded honestly. "Yes. The young spouse looks different when he is injured." Julian watched Liam and downed his bitter medicine in one gulp. "That is what you call a wounded beauty." That night, Liam was reading on the chaise as usual. He heard restless tossing and turning from the bed. It was distracting him. Julian was usually fast asleep by now. He did not know what was wrong with him tonight. After another loud sigh, Liam spoke. "Young master, you are usually so detached. What could possibly be troubling you so much tonight?" After a moment of silence, Julian's figure appeared behind the screen. He sat up, looking desolate. "I could not even lift you?" Liam was speechless. That was what was keeping him up at night? Julian's voice was full of despair. "This is more terrifying than a ghost story." This piqued Liam's curiosity. "What made you think you could lift me?" Julian did not understand. "Your waist is so thin. You cannot be that heavy. How could I not lift you?" Liam did not bother to spare his feelings. "In your current condition, you get out of breath after a short walk. Flora is stronger than you. Young master, one must know their own limits." "So annoying." Julian punched the bed. "Even Juan can do it, but I cannot. Juan does manual labor all day. Why are you comparing yourself to him? Julian got out of bed, annoyed. He threw on a fur cloak and came out from behind the screen. I am taller than him. Liam put down his book and looked at him. Young master. What? Liam perfectly mimicked Julian's earlier tone. Do not compare yourself to others. Julian was at a loss for words. His defeated expression made Liam smile. Liam usually only sneered or smirked. This was the first time Julian had seen him genuinely smile. In the dim light, Liam was reclining on the chaise. His dark hair fell over his chest. He held a book in his hands. All his defenses were down. He just looked at you and smiled. Julian suddenly understood the meaning of true beauty. He lowered his voice, afraid to disturb the moment. Does it still hurt? Liam's attention returned to his book. It is fine. Julian sat down beside the chaise. You are a patient now too. You should sleep on the bed. Liam thought Julian wanted to switch places. No need. You are sicker than I am. Julian said matter-of-factly. So I will also sleep on the bed. Liam's fingers paused. He refused flatly. No, neither of us likes men. What are you afraid of? Liam calmly turned a page. I am afraid you will lie on my hair. Julian was astounded by the excuse. He laughed. You have never slept with me. How do you know I will lie on your hair? Because you are a terrible sleeper. Well, you should at least try it with me. You will only know if you try. I will not try. That is unfair. Julian protested. You cannot confuse the real me with your imaginary version of me. Liam looked up at him, his expression severe. Young master, if you say one more word, I can make you speechless for 3 days. Do you believe me? I believe you. Of course I believe you. Julian grumbled as he went back to bed. You are a venomous beauty who would dare to act against the powerful. There is nothing you would not do. News of Liam's injury reached Mrs. Sterling. She sent a maid to inquire, a superficial gesture. Another unfamiliar maid came to their wing. She brought some medicinal plasters for Liam. She said they were from her mistress, a family secret. They were very effective for sprains. Liam asked who her mistress was. The pan-concubine from the Moonlight Pavilion. The maid smiled. The young spouse has probably not met her yet. The Sterling household was relatively small for a noble family. Besides the main wife, there were only a few concubines. Mrs. Sterling managed them well. They were all quiet and obedient. Liam, as a male spouse, rarely interacted with them. Liam smelled the plaster. It was indeed a good remedy. But he did not know this woman. He did not want to be indebted to her. Just as Liam was about to refuse, Julian came out. He spoke for him. Leave the medicine here. Thank the lady for us. Liam said nothing in front of the maid. After she left, before Liam could ask, Julian explained. The pan lady is harmless. She is a timid and honest person. It is good to be on her side. She might join your camp one day. Liam asked how Julian knew about household matters. He never involved himself in them. Julian said, half-jokingly, because like the great spiritualist, I can read the stars. I can predict the future. Liam was silent. Liam had been in the estate for some time. He knew Julian, despite his unreliable nature, meant him no harm. Of the hundreds of people in the estate, only Julian was somewhat trustworthy. He wanted to get along with Julian peacefully, but Julian could not be serious for more than a few minutes. When would he stop spouting nonsense? Then go read your stars, Liam said dismissively. Do not bother me here. Julian ignored his dismissal. He fiddled with the plaster. Do you remember the needle case I wanted to give you? The one you cruelly rejected? That was a wedding gift from her. She even sewed it herself. Liam was a little surprised. Is that so? Was her repeated kindness genuine, or did she have ulterior motives? As Liam was thinking, someone grabbed his ankle. He looked up into Julian's eyes, confused. "What are you doing?" "Applying the plaster for you." Liam struggled slightly. "I do not need your help." "Let go." Julian held his ankle firmly. "Do not be polite. I am very good at applying these things. I will make it look perfect. Get off." Liam used only a little force but easily broke free. He left with Juan supporting him. Julian stared at his own hands, his eyes full of resentment. He looked as if he could not breathe. Liam's ankle healed in 3 days. Julian grew tired of his warbler. He got a mynah bird from somewhere. He spent his days teaching it to talk. The constant chattering was annoying. Liam could not stand it. He took Juan and left their wing. He found a sunny spot in the garden to dry some herbs. Juan laid out the herbs. "Master, our courtyard is large and sunny. Why are we not drying them there?" Liam said it was too noisy with too many birds. Juan grinned. "I think it is fun. The young master is teaching the mynah to say Dr. Liam. He had thought life in the estate would be hard, but it turned out to be quite pleasant. The young master was noble and sick, so the best things were always sent to their wing first. The servants benefited from it too. The young master himself was interesting. He always found ways to entertain himself. And he was not bad to his master. It was a good situation, all things considered. As they were working, Juan saw a girl in a pink dress approaching. He asked who she was. Liam looked up. The girl was followed by an older woman and a maid. She was clearly a mistress of the house. At her age, it could only be one person. The second young lady of the estate, Julian's half-sister, Penelope. Penelope was pretty and carried herself with grace. She walked up to Liam and curtsied slightly. "Greetings, sister-in-law." She was Mrs. Sterling's daughter. Liam did not want to interact with her, but she was a young lady. He should show some courtesy in front of the servants. Liam gave a slight nod. "Miss Penelope." Penelope smiled. "Please call me Penelope. I have wanted to visit you and my brother, but my brother is ill and does not like visitors. I am glad I finally have the chance to meet you. You are, just as they say, uniquely handsome. Miss Penelope, you do not need to call me sister-in-law, but you are my sister-in-law." Penelope thought for a moment. "Or should I call you Brother Liam?" Both titles made him uncomfortable. Liam chose the lesser of two evils. "Then sister-in-law is fine." Penelope said softly. "Yes." She saw the herbs behind Liam. "Are you drying herbs?" "Yes." Penelope's heart stirred. "Are they for my brother?" These were the herbs from his father's prescription. The formula was difficult to prepare. Each ingredient had strict requirements. It would take over a month to make the medicine. He was only doing it for practice. Of course, he could let Julian test the finished product. Liam did not answer, so Penelope took it as confirmation. "My brother's health has always been managed by Dr. Albright. What he eats and what medicine he takes is decided by him." Liam's patience was wearing thin. "What are you trying to say? Do not misunderstand." Penelope looked a little scared. "I know you are concerned for my brother. You want him to get better quickly, but his condition is very delicate. We cannot be too careful. Even though you come from a family of doctors, if you want to give him medicine, you should talk to Dr. Albright first." Juan said unhappily. "Miss, my master learned from his father and a great master. In terms of medical skill, that Dr. Albright might not be his equal." Liam sensed something was wrong and interrupted. "Juan." Juan closed his mouth sullenly. Liam said that the herbs were not for the young master. "You are worrying too much." "Not for my brother? Then, it is getting late. Liam ignored her. Juan, pack up. We are going back. When Liam returned to their wing, Julian's new pet could talk. Julian carried it around Liam. The bird and the man kept calling out Dr. Liam. It made Liam want to poison them both. Liam threatened that if he bothered him with his bird again, he would kill it and make soup. Such a fierce Dr. Liam. Julian gave the cage to Flora and told her to take it outside. You are so fierce. When I die, what woman will want to marry you? Liam said coldly that the young master did not need to worry about that. I will find a good wife, and we will bring our children to visit your grave. Julian laughed. Then remember to burn more paper money for me. I am afraid I will not have enough money in the afterlife. Definitely. After settling the matter of grave visiting, Liam got to the point. He told Julian about his encounter with Penelope. She has tried to see you several times. You have always refused. Do you know something? I have told you before. I know many things. There were freshly dried herbs on the table. Julian reached out to grab a handful. Liam slapped his hand away. He yelped in pain. Did the stars tell you this too? Yes, Julian said, blowing on his red hand. The stars said she is not a good person, so I should ignore her. Liam said thoughtfully that he understood. Paying respects to one's mother-in-law was a daily duty for a daughter-in-law. It was expected in both high and low society. Liam detested it, but to avoid giving misses, sterling any leverage, he had to go through the motions every day.